It's a really good afternoon, really warm welcome to the people of Harrogate. I just want to share with you, just for a few moments, about a core reality that we all believe in, and that's justice. Now, who would disagree with me? Who would disagree with me that we need more justice in the world today? We hear about people seeking justice from war, people seeking justice from medical negligence, all kinds of things we seek justice for. But you know, friends, when we invoke justice, what is justice? Where does it come from? And I would just suggest, and you tell me if I'm wrong this afternoon, I would suggest that we believe in justice because there's actually a God of justice who makes that a reality. Justice isn't just an abstract idea, but justice is something that comes from a God who's fair, a God who cares. And so you tell me this afternoon, if you agree with me, do you believe that justice is a good thing and justice is something that comes from God? Well, we all seek for justice in different ways, don't we? And then perhaps you would look around, perhaps there's somebody who you live with, one person in your family, and you would say, they've done something wrong. They need to give me back what they owe me. They need to pay me back. I need justice. Perhaps you would say, somebody robbed me. I want justice. We call out for justice. But you tell me if I'm wrong here. Tell me if I'm wrong when I say this. None of us are perfect. Is that right or is that wrong? None of us are perfect. What do you think, sir?
Definitely not perfect.
Well, I'm not either. Absolutely. And you see, if we want justice, what happens if we've made mistakes? We need to pay for the wrong things that we've done. If we're to have justice for other people, surely that should come back onto ourselves. We all seek justice, but actually what do we need more than justice? It's a word called mercy. Now, mercy means getting something that you don't deserve. Mercy means being let off when you should be sent to prison. Mercy means having somebody say, "I'll let you off," when you should pay a fine. You see, these two concepts, justice and mercy, we can't survive without it in our society. And I just want to say, friends, perhaps you're here today and you say, I've not been a good person, Charlie. And, I would say I've not been a good person either. But the reason I'm here is not because I'm a good person, but because I'm a forgiven person. And with a little bit of time I've got left, I just want to tell you about the God of justice. People say, where's the God of justice? Where's the God of justice today? Why doesn't he sort things out? But I want to tell you about a God who's also just, but he's also merciful. And this man, this God-man, Jesus, he came into our world, and he was just. He was the definition of justice. He would help the oppressed. He would stand up for people who were trodden down. When one day he went into the temple where people were to come and meet God, and he saw there was all kinds of things that were obstructing people from meeting God. And he turned all these things out of the temple. He overthrew the temple. You perhaps heard that story about Jesus. He overthrew all the people who were taking advantage in the temple. He brought justice. But he also brought mercy. And there's a lovely verse in the Psalms that talks about God's justice and God's mercy kissing. God's justice and God's mercy meeting in a way which really cannot be done apart from what it says here. Without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness of sins. Have you ever heard that before? And do you believe that? Without the shedding of blood, there cannot be forgiveness of sins. And you see, on the cross, Jesus died so that we might be forgiven. Jesus died for all of the wrong things that you guys have done, that I've done. He was being punished by God for all those wrong things. On the cross, Jesus died so that no matter what your history is, no matter what your background is, so that you can be forgiven. And the most amazing thing about the cross is that God is still perfectly just, because all of the wrong things in the world will be punished. They'll either be punished at the cross, or when Jesus comes again to judge the world, all the wrong things will be punished. But God can also have mercy on you today. And so maybe you hear this message and you say, well, what's that got to do with me, Charlie? Maybe you say, I don't really know, Charlie, if I'm ready to become a Christian yet. Maybe you say, I don't even know if there is a God. If there is a God, why is there all these bad things happening? Can I just share with you, just today, the evidence for God is absolutely phenomenal. You just look at this tree here. You just look at the person next to you. You look at how intimately and how wonderfully they're designed. Every particle in their body, the way that their eyes works. And you tell me now, can that happen by accident? Can an eye be put together by an accident, by a big bang? The Bible actually says, and you tell me if you agree with this. The Bible says that in the creation, in Romans 1, it says that all people are without excuse because what may be known of God is visible in the creation. You see, God has put himself on display in creation. And he says that God's a God of order because he's made creation in an orderly way. He says that God cares because he's built all these caring, loving things in society, like marriage, like the family, like all the things that we enjoy as communities. You see, God is a God who cares. God is a God who creates. God is a God who loves. But perhaps you say, well, Charlie, I've got loads of time, and I don't know if I really want to become a Christian yet. After all, if you become a Christian, there's all kinds of things that you have to stop doing. You have to stop doing the things that God says are wrong. And maybe you say, I'm not sure I'm ready to do that, Charlie, and I've got lots of time. Well, let me just share with you one story about how brief time is. There was one young man that I worked with. I was a sheep shearer for a few seasons in New Zealand. And one young man that I worked with, he's about 19 years of age. He was a brilliant athlete. He could shear a lot of sheep in a day. He would make a lot of money. And actually, on the last day that I worked with him, we exchanged our work clothes. So we used to wear these shearing singlets, and we exchanged singlets as a bit of a token, to say that we might not see each other again, but it was kind of a token of friendship. But this young man, this healthy young 19-year-old man, a couple of years ago, was tragically killed in a car accident. Driving home from work one day in the van, head on with a wagon, and that was it. He was gone. And I just want to say, friends, none of us know when we're going to die. Life is short, eternity is long, and one thing you mustn't do is get it wrong. Can I just say, if you're considering Christianity today, if you're considering getting right with God, don't put it off. We prepare for all kinds of things, don't we? Perhaps there's some people here who are preparing to go on holiday. The summer holidays are coming up, and you'll be packing. No doubt you'll be booking your place at the travel lodge. No doubt you'll be booking plane tickets and all this kind of stuff. Now tell me this, if you would plan for a holiday, why would you not plan for the one date that you must keep, which is the day when you'll meet God? Does that not make sense? Does it not make sense to prepare to meet your God? That's actually what the Bible says. The Bible says that we need to get ready for that day. And we don't have to pack our bags to get to heaven. We don't have to save up money to get to heaven, but we do have to be forgiven to get to heaven. And I just want to ask you guys, if there's something inside you, which there is inside me, that says I need to be forgiven, then why not make this right today? Why not come to the God that loves you, that really cares about you and wants to welcome you into his kingdom? And so just as I finish off, I just want to say that if there's anybody here who would say, Charlie, I've heard this message, I've heard about Jesus, and I think that this has something in it. I think that this man who spoke like never any other man spoke, I think there's something in his teaching and in his life. Well, I just want to say that this afternoon we're giving away some eyewitness accounts of his life, of his death, but most importantly of the resurrection of the most influential man in history, the man who split time in two. And Jesus says that because he beat death, he can beat your death. Now tell me, who else can offer an offer like that this afternoon? Who else can beat your death? And if you're here this afternoon and you're interested in receiving life that lasts forever and receiving forgiveness, then please just come and speak to one of us. We'd love to talk to you more about these things. We'd love to give you a copy of John's Gospel as well. And so thank you so much for listening, guys. And I'm just going to hand back to Vinny. So thank you.